Representative Veasey, you're recognized for 5 minutes for your questioning.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think this is a fascinating conversation, particularly around the daylight savings time piece. As someone that has gotten up very early in the morning to go sit in a duck blind, to go hunting, and wading through water, I would love to have a couple extra hours of sleep so I could go to the blind a little bit later. And so I totally get that. But I do want to remind everybody, and I'm sure it's been touched. I had to leave during the opening your opening statement, so I'm sure it's been touched upon. But I do want to remind everybody about some of the history around this. On January the 7th, 1974, in Washington, D.C., the sun rose at 8:27 a.m. back then, and it was jet black outside. And kids literally went to school with flashlights. Moms gave kids flashlights to go to school. And of course, when things like that happen, the more accidents happen. And of course, after just a short time period, mamas all around the country started to clickety-click and said, no mas, we don't want to do this anymore. And the Nixon administration promptly changed that. And it's really fascinating to go back and look at some of the history because there was even one representative before that time that talked about putting the United States on just one time zone. It was a representative from Hawaii, just having everybody have the same time. And so as we go back and forth and look at this, I think that it's absolutely incredible. But I do want to take the time to ask you and hope that we can come back and visit this issue on the daylight savings times. But with us having FIFA come into DFW, I wanted to specifically talk to you about that. And I wanted to ask Ms. Simon about the long-term impact that an event like FIFA can have to boost tourism for SMBs and for the World Cup. How can areas like DFW translate that into long-term economic growth for the region? Because I know that there's a housing issue that I know that we're worried about in DFW because people are going to have to drive in from long distances to come to FIFA. So how can regions like ours translate this into long-term opportunity?
Thank you, Congressman. That's a great question. It happens that currently there is good signs that there is already long-term demand for the United States, which is fantastic, even though we're seeing a decline this year. And we won't be seeing numbers that reach pre-pandemic levels until 2029. But what we can do to really focus on World Cup and taking advantage of that is as we get this influx of visitors into the country, we can showcase what we have to offer. They're going to be seeing not only the host cities and the surrounding areas, but they're going to be traveling from host city to host city and destination to destination and experiencing, again, all the different things that they can do and see here, including national parks, small and rural communities, authentic experiences. They'll take those messages home and share what a wonderful destination the United States is, and that's going to help feed our long-term growth. As Congress can help, obviously, with, again, Brand USA, getting Brand USA fully funded for the next couple of years, making sure it is reauthorized in 2027 so that they are in market driving that demand with potential international travelers. Again, recognizing and promoting the small businesses, the rural areas, and the opportunities that international travelers have in the United States.
And speaking of international travelers, one of the big advantages that we have in the Dallas-Fort Worth area is DFW Airport, where you can get to just about anywhere in the world coming out of our regional airport there. And as travel and tourism are key economic drivers, what can Congress do to help streamline travel processes such as visa processing, airport capacity, security procedures to ensure that international visitors can easily access the Dallas-Fort Worth region for events like FIFA?
Yes, again, thank you for the question. Very good question. We need modernized technology in our airports. We really need to advance our airport and transportation systems and infrastructure to make sure that the ease of traveling and safety for international travelers as well as Americans is looked after. We also need to eliminate the proposed $250 visa integrity fee. and other fees that are targeted to international travelers.
Taxes. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's right.
And there's a new fee that is proposing higher entrance fees for international visitors to national parks. So we just think those types of things are prohibitive and making international visitors feel like they're not welcome here.
Yeah. No, thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.